Lecture topic: Getting closer to arRahmaan and distant from Shaytan.
Bismillah. There are two options that are in front of a person all the time. One is that whatever he desires doesn't concern himself whether it is something correct or incorrect, doesn't concern himself whether it is good or bad. He just chases behind his desires. That's one option. And the other option is sabr. So the option of either he's going to just give in to any desire, or the option is that he's going to make sabr. Now sabr, in that initial moment, is a bitter gulp. But the effect of it and the result of it is very positive and very sweet. And on the other side, it seems the deception of Shaitan, that Shaitan puts a person in, is that this moment that I will now submit to this desire, this will be something I will enjoy, but that enjoyment is very short-lived. Very shortly after, the misery sets in, and one is the short-term misery, the problems that come, whatever, within himself, emotionally, physically, and then the long-term, that's another disaster that he sometimes puts himself into. So now, these are two options that a person all the time has in front of him. That is he going to make sabr? And he makes sabr, then the immediate outcome of that would be the rewards of sabr, and Allah Tala's declaration, Inna Allaha ma'as sabirin. Allah Tala is with those who are patient. So he gains the nearness of Allah Tala, he gains the closeness of Allah Tala instantly. And on the other side, if he gives in, so he gets close to Shaitan, because it's either one direction or the other, it's not simultaneously both directions. So if he makes a sabr, he gets close to Allah Tala, and he gives in to that desire which is impermissible, then he gets closer to Shaitan. Now, either a person wants to get closer to Rahman, or he wants to get closer to Shaitan. Now, this is this at every step. Now, he's walking somewhere, and he's confronted with a situation. Either he's going to cast that haram glance and get closer to Shaitan, fill his heart with darkness, become distant from Allah Ta'ala, or he's going to make sabr, and he's going to lower his gaze, and he's going to get closer to Allah Ta'ala tremendously, and he's going to become distant from Shaitan. So this is the aspect to keep asking ourselves the question at every step. Where I want to get closer to? Which direction I want to go in? When a person keeps asking himself and he becomes conscious of this, who is going to be so foolish to, na'uz billah, want to get close to Shaitan and become distant from Allah Ta'ala? Unless the person, then there's hardly any iman left or no iman. Otherwise, every person who has iman in his heart, he wants to get closer to Allah Ta'ala. He wants to be away from Shaitan. So the issue is that little bit sabr, that little bitter gulp of sabr for that moment, for that short while. But that short while, if a person had to be eating some fruit, and he's told that this has a very, very brief, bitter taste, the first bite will be bitter, but then you'll find the sweetness for hours in your mouth. And on the other side, there's a fruit, for that one first bite it will be very sweet, but then the bitterness will remain for hours. So which one you want to choose? So which intelligent person will say, I rather have that one first bite of sweetness, doesn't matter if thereafter there's one day of bitterness. Everybody will say, it doesn't matter if that one bite of bitterness comes, but if it's good, then going to result in the whole day of the mouth being very sweet, that makes sense. That one small bite of bitterness, that will go away very quickly. That bitterness also, in time, Allah Ta'ala makes that also a pleasure. That bitterness also, initially it's a test, that a person feels that little mujahada, but in time, that mujahada also becomes a pleasure. So the issue is to strengthen oneself, to strengthen one's heart, and this is strengthened with the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala, with the intense, deep zikr of Allah Ta'ala, and staying away from things that harm the heart spiritually. Then the heart strengthens, and this mujahada becomes very easy, and then he becomes not just easy, it becomes a pleasure as well. Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq.
अल्लाह अल्लाह कैसा प्यारा नाम है, आशिकों का मीना और जाम है।